Good evening. Ira Epstein with your Spider ETF stock market wrap-up, and this wrap-up is for the evening of Tuesday, the 3rd of June, 2025. Well, my friends, another up day in the stock indices. You did not get that Tuesday reversal after a strong Monday. That's the first thing that's evident. Carvana took off again for another $8. Amazon trying to drop, well off the day's high, about $3 off of it. Netflix was down, but it recovered off those lows by about $6. Google down again, as you can see. Home Depot getting a bit of a rally. AMC coming up with a couple of good things if you're a moviegoer. I just read that starting July 9th, and here they are, starting on the 9th of July, it's going to be 50% off ticket day. So that's interesting. They also did a deal with Cineworld where they're going to show more, believe it or not, more commercials. So if you gave yourself, say, 15 minutes time, the movie's going to start, you can probably make it probably 20, 25 minutes with all the stuff that they're doing with how many commercials are going, and AMC needs the money. Now, what's bothersome is with all the blockbuster movies, it's still just a $3 stock. Cineworld went up nicely today. This one did not. In the metal market, sort of sideways action. Now, the president did sign today the steel aluminum tariff bill, so 12:01 tonight, Eastern time. Tariffs go from 25 to 50% on aluminum and steel imports, with the exception of the UK steel or aluminum that they send to us, as they have a deal in place. It hasn't been worked out completely, but the memorandum is signed, and the president says that they're fine until July 9th, and he hopes to have everything wrapped up with them. Ha! That's my laughing. Ha! The president's already asked all the countries they're dealing with to give them their best offers. Send it to Howard Lutnick, P.O. Box, Washington, D.C., and get everything to him, because they realized this was never reality, that you could get these deals done by July 9th. I have been really here mocking it, as you know, consistently saying there's no way. Where's the deals? You're not seeing them. These things take a long time because you're asking countries to give up something they don't want to give up. So we will see just how this works. You're going to read in the news, rare earth. I'm telling you, you're going to be seeing that the auto production lines are shutting down. By the way, speaking of autos, you're watching GM and Ford, how many they've gone back to the ICE engine. In other words, the internal combustion, because the infrastructure in America just isn't there yet for electric cars. I wish it were, and I'd like to see it because it would help everybody. But when you got to go searching and you live in Chicago, none of my friends are willing to take their cars, not one of them that have electric cars, on a major trip. They love it for the city. They might go to Indiana, which is just around the lake, and it's each way is 100 miles. You're fine. But once you're in the 400 or 500 mile range, to a person that I know, I'm sure my friends are unique, they won't do it. They'll take an internal combustion engine car if they're going to do a trip like that. Why don't we just go to the chart action? But before we do, maybe we should look at all the news for tomorrow, because there's a lot of it. So let's do that. We're going to get the Mortgage Bankers Association numbers at 6 in the morning. Then at 7:15, we're going to get the May private sector jobs net change from ADP. That's going to be an important number. We had the JOLTS number today, and instead of it dropping, we had been about 7,192,000. We jumped 200,000 more jobs. So let's give the president credit on one thing. People aren't losing their jobs. Number two, we saw inflation at some of the lowest readings we've seen this week. The core numbers, the PCE, down. We'll see if the tariffs take their effect sooner rather than later, but so far it's been a while and you're not seeing it. That's the point that I'm making. S&P Global Group, their final May service sector PMI. So final means we had a prelim earlier. It's at 845. The ISM Supply Management's going to release their U.S. May service sector index at 9 on Wednesday. We're going to get the petroleum stock estimates for Wednesday on the 4th. tomorrow at 9:30. The Federal Reserve Beige book at 1 o'clock is coming out, so you want to pay attention there. And about 8:30 in the morning Central Time or so, we'll get from the Bank of Canada their monetary policy. I expect them to keep all the doors open but to do nothing at this current meeting as they're working their way through the tariff issue and what it means for everything. All right. So let's come back here, and we were talking, this is an important company for this, and I'm starting to cover it. I'm waiting to see when this particular chart wants to try the upside. So we had a market that came down, and they make rare earths, by the way, they mine for it, coming down, trying to hold here. Can the market get itself going? If you can take out 2287, it would be the first pattern, then you'd have higher lows and a higher high, all right? The resistance would be up here at the 100-day average, close, 2337. And notice where the market's fighting its battle. In between the red line, which is the 18-day average, and the 200-day. So I know where the, not bottom pickers, but the pickers of this that wanted to accumulate shares, they've done it probably right in this area here, near today's low in the past, in this whole zone over the past 3 days. And now the question is the presidential orders that are going to come out. The president is going to sign orders under, I guess, the Defense Act to speed up in America the mining for these rare earth materials. The problem is, how do you do it? 1, 2, 3. I mean, I assume it's going to take years like any other mining operation. It's not that, hey, we signed a paper and I'm going out in the desert and I'll bring this to you. It doesn't quite work that way. What you have to do, Mr. President, is make a deal with President Xi. Call him and get this done. Do you really want to see the auto line shut down? Boeing probably shut down as its people that make parts for it and so on, anything with magnets and so on. This all gets impacted. If you don't believe me, folks, read the news. Go to Bloomberg, go to Reuters, go to any of the major sources, read about these rare earths, and you'll see that our supplies are running down fast. China runs that game, and they know it, and they're waiting for the call. Why do you think President Xi, in part, is just sitting back? He holds the cards right now. 2331 is the resistance point, along with the Bollinger Band of 2315. So the market, in my opinion, if it can take out today's high, has re-entered an attempt at bullishness on the market. So this is where the market seems to be trying to change. Momentum-wise, the market is not overbought yet. We then go to Eli Lilly, and as I mentioned to the other day, I now look for buyers to step in around that 736 level. The market's got its first bull move and it's holding it. That's what's important here. So I think that you're going to see the buyers there. They'll look on the first run, maybe the 760s. Can you get in there to see what it can do? We'll see. It's not a cheap stock. It's $700 plus. Broadcom doesn't stop. Palantir won't stop. Anything with AI is going to keep going, in my opinion, because you're at the beginning of the game. It's like when iPhone first came out. I mean, you're at the very beginning. You're still using them, all right? And you know what I'm saying. They'll just keep evolving. Artificial intelligence is just going to keep going. I'm not convinced it replaces people. I think that what it does in part is it makes you work better. All right, that's what I think. Will people find other vocations where the AI can do something and they don't need as many? Of course, but that won't replace your brain. It's still pretty good. And the data that AI gets, you're not at the point where it's self-learning and it knows everything. This is not Star Trek, not by a long shot, but it's a great beginning. Higher lows, higher highs, right into the upper band, and it's embedded. If you don't understand embedding, go to my website, iraepstein.com, under the word courses, embedded stochastics. Take the course. It's so darn important because it works with the Bollinger Band. It's not just by itself. It works with the Bollinger Band and how this works. And it doesn't matter if it's a stock, a SPDR, ETF, or a futures contract. A chart's a chart. In Google, you've heard me say over and over that I thought we could slip back down, and we're doing that. Now, this is where I'm looking for the support, the first attempt at real support to show in the market. Netflix is, for me, very hard to buy into a Bollinger Band. I don't know what you would intend on doing. Even though it's got an embedded reading, you're at a number that, number one, it's getting a little rich on PEs and so on. And I do think there's more upside, but I'd like to see a break in the market. Robinhood did just what we were talking. First move to the upper band. I gave a lecture yesterday why I like this so much. And I was giving you all the reasons, and boom, away it goes to the upside. Now, I'm still not friendly in Exxon and the other makers. But the word from me is that today, let's take a look at what we did. I want to go back here with you. Where does the embedded reading beginning start? Watch, right here on Thursday. You get 1, 2 days, 3 days in a row where you're embedded. You've got it. If the red line closes over 21, I teach you can't be short anymore. Out you go, which is today. The odds favor you going to at least the 105.32 area. Doesn't mean it will happen, but that's what the odds favor. To the 18-day average is a minimum. It could go a lot higher than that. But as far as I'm concerned, the market would have to see the red line close back under tomorrow, back under the 20 level. I doubt you're going to get that. We'll see. Now we're looking at stocks getting pulled along as NVIDIA's back into the 140s. It's acting real good. It's carrying this market with it all of a sudden. When we look at XLF, the financials, it's trying to decide which way to go. I mean, how long have you fought this battle at the 18-day average? I don't have a bias to it. Well, the chart does. It's over the 18-day average, but the swing line's not working there. So I'd rather have a bullish bias than bearish when the market's over that number. When we look at the industrial sector, this was the correction in a market that has a bullish bias. Notice how the swing line came down. You went yesterday right to that 18-day average, and you gave a bounce. If you haven't taken my full charting course, this is all explained in there as to how I believe this works. Now, energy sector threw out a buy signal tonight. Yep, higher lows, higher highs over the 18-day average. So unless and until the market gets back under here, 80.88, the market can make a rally here as far as I'm concerned, and you've got these resistance points in the chart. Doesn't mean it has to do it, but as a chartist, that's what I'm saying. In the gold market, are we going to fill any of these gaps? That's the question, and you're very overbought. Silver market, just hanging on the upper Bollinger Band, could embed over the rest of this week. It's very possible. We'll see if it can do that. But where would you be wrong if you bought it here? If you put a stop under the most recent low, that's pretty big. In the copper market, still acting very good. You can see how the market's moving right on along with it. It's still acting bullish. I wouldn't want you over the upper Bollinger Band to get suddenly bullish there, but certainly you can get up to that number. BND, if you take out the lows of Monday, be careful. That could give you lower high, lower and low, and open the door up to get back to 71.94, the lower Bollinger Band. In the dollar, a bounce off the Bollinger Band, but certainly not a turn of trend. And in the euro, you got up to the upper band area, and you're getting a correction, but not a turn of trend. So take advantage of everything you're hearing me talk about. Go to our website for all the courses. It's iraepstein.com courses. The research, iraepstein.com, the research, and the free offers are under iraepstein.com free offers. There'll be an icon here. You can also click that circle that you get if you're watching me on YouTube, and have a great evening. I'll catch up with you all first thing in the morning.